Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of New York by Night with your hero, Mr. Silas. Tonight, the Prince is, as where he usually is, working in top on his penthouse bar on his various little side projects, going through plans, programming, blueprints, all those bits and pieces while huddled in his office, kept appraised of the goings on in the city by his various servants that scurry around in the darkness. And tonight, a certain kindred of Clan Ventrue has decided to come and visit the penthouse bar and lounge to try see if she can get the prince's attention. As always, this is a fairly quick trip, since Mr. Silas keeps a fairly close eye on the comings and goings of individuals of interest around, near, or even someplace remotely close by to his current position at all times, looking at you, changelings. Now, after being ushered through into the club itself, being spotted, being handed the security pass, which gets you to the next layer of the pub, which gets you an interview with the security guy, which gets you to the next layer of the pub, which gets you onto eventually through the various security checks. Oh, do you have any weaponry on you? Or, like, anything? You will be scanned.
She does have a small switchblade in her boot, but that's nothing against vampires
You
anyway.
clearly, you
She'll
clearly,
turn it over
you,
fast.
yeah, you clearly do not know the danger of knives. As in, knives have probably caused the majority of deaths in Empire total, like ever. Anyways, eventually you get up to the VIP lounge, and Mr. Silas is waiting for you in his not in the office, in his private bar that he has set up for greeting individuals of interest in the city. He likes to play barman on occasion.
And Lady Sheridan will make her way in, give a small bow, because she's not wearing a skirt, so small bow. Good evening.
Good evening, Miss Sheridan. How are you tonight?
I'm doing quite well. I wanted to inform you, if our dear Lady Arbeth has not already done so, of my election to primogenship.
Yes, congratulations. I did receive some messages pointing to that conclusion.
Well, I just wanted to let you know in person, and also to ask you if there was anything that you might expect of your primogens in the city.
Well, I like my primogens to be rather active in talking to the other members of the court and getting things organized. Perhaps finding people suitable for those little side positions. I hear good things about how Limey's doing in the little hoppy temp spot that we threw at him, but he could do with some company at some point.
He,
Green could
he
always
is
do with
doing
some
rather well.
hands.
Hmm. He's certainly doing rather well, at least that I have seen.
Yes, I reckon that one was a rather good choice. Need to have a chat and an update with them sometime soon. Well, anyways, I went off on a tangent. I was just saying, getting to chat and know the other people in the city and trying to find people suitable to cover any blind spots that might be appearing, as well as take part in occasional special operations. We haven't been required to do one for a period of time, but we expect our Primogen to be able to carry themselves with a certain level of level-headedness to be required for when performing the dangerous tasks required for the security of New York.
Of course. But you must have rather a lot on your plate right now. What with the current issues in chain of command, so to speak.
Issues come, issues get sorted, new ones crop up. It's generally how it usually
Of
is.
course. But yes, if anything should come up that you need assistance with, don't hesitate to let me know.
Of course, and is there anything that we can do for Clan Ventru?
Not at the moment, for all that there are quite few of us. Um,
I believe
Lady
I
Albert
sent.
seems to be doing quite reasonably.
I believe I set your clan a task. How is that task proceeding? It was a rather simple
Oh,
task.
it was for our clan. I have been making progress with it. I thought you specifically asked it of me, but I'd be
Well,
quite
then I sent you with
happy
the.
to ask our dear Lady Arabeth to chip in as well.
Yes, well, I did set it of you, but you're the primogen now. It's one of the powerful things of being a primogen is the ability to delegate if things aren't happening. Has it been sorted out then?
But so far things are happening.
Hmm. Good, good.
It is slow progress, but it always is when you're trying to build a power base.
Naturally. Well, not like you didn't have things in motion before you already arrive, I expect, but I'm sure you can find and make the right connections.
She'll nod.
Now, Lady Sheridan, do you have anything to otherwise report?
Well, I was somewhat concerned about our dear sheriff, but he seems to have healed up nicely.
It took a little bit while more than I expected, but I believe it was more mental scars than physical ones that took the time.
Yes, but had quite the pleasant conversation with him the other day.
Good, good. And how's his dear child doing?
He says that she is doing well. I look forward to meeting her at some point.
Oh, you should. She's quite the character.
So I understand.
Hmm. I believe we also have plans for an Elysium tomorrow night. You
Yes,
still be in attendance?
I attended the last one with the Tremere that definitely is not in the city.
Yes, because there's no Tremere in New York City, of course.
Has someone considered mentioning to him that it's
Out of character. I can't hear a word that you're saying. It's kind of lagging out. Try again.
sorry, what did you say?
You're lagging on your end, so I can make out what you said.
Just relocating.
Quick, to the internet!
Well, my room is the absolute opposite end of the house from the router. So if it gets laggy, then I head across to the other side of the house.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, you're
Which
coming
does
in
mean
loud
getting
and
cold, though. Oh well.
you're now coming in loud and clear.
Okay, what was it you were saying before?
I believe we were talking about the Elysium.
Yes. And I commented on the fact that I met the Tremere that is definitely not in the city.
Yes, because there are no Tremere in New York City, and we all know this.
Of course not. Has someone mentioned that fact to him?
I don't know, but I believe it's still worth keeping as a general rule.
Of course.
Uh,
I since Since our dear sheriff mentioned that it was in fact a secret, you're the only person I've mentioned it to.
Excellent.
And Artemir is quite fortunate that Frank was the first person that I mentioned it to.
Now, I believe there's meant to be an Elysium tomorrow. I'm not too sure if yet I will be in attendance myself, but I'm assuming you shall be there?
I shall certainly do my utmost to attend, yes.
And you said you attended the previous one. How is Mr. Peck doing?
Well, he seemed a little disappointed with the turnout. He offered us all some of his new experimental combination of wine and blood. I must say, given something that I have heard about him, it's rather more concerning than it was before I heard the story.
Oh, do continue.
I'm told you were aware of what our dear Mr. Peck got up to previously, while as Primogen of Clan Toreador?
Mr. Peck has gotten up to quite a few things during his time in the city.
Involving blood ones.
Oh, yes, I'm quite familiar with that endeavour.
Well, I found it a little concerning, him handing out free samples, so to speak, at an Elysium.
Oh, one should always be careful, but also remember one's etiquette when it comes to such things.
Of course. I'm quite glad that I had a polite reason to refuse.
Oh, the Ventru, I believe, usually have years of experience of coming up with polite reasons.
Well, it is good to stay in practice.
I see. Any one of, well, who else was in attendance?
I met our dear Miss Rose. Quite the
Ah,
character. We had a very interesting conversation about the microcosm and the macrocosm of humanity, and the
oh,
metaphor of the sea.
that must have been stronger wine than I thought.
No, I refuse to remember. And our dear Miss Rose tasted the wine after the conversation.
Oh well, I trust that you found the conversation quite enlightening. Yes, Rose is quite the character. Often attracts interest. It's difficult to make sure that some parties don't give her too much interest.
Yes, well, quite the conversationalist, at least.
Well, that's Rose, Mr. Peck. Who else was in attendance, or is it just the three?
And the Tremere, and our dear
Which
Harpy
are most
visited,
definitely not there.
which was technically not there.
Yeah.
Our Harpy attended, and I do believe a third person of your clan, but I can't quite recall the name off the top of my head.
I see. Well, was the person under 4 feet tall?
No, I don't believe so.
Then I know the individual you're talking
Of course, I might be wrong on this. You're more likely to notice these things in character than out of character.
about. Was it Goblin? Wait. Actually, no. I think both of them are dwarves. Never mind. I'm totally plagued by very short clan members.
Okay, so yes, they probably were short.
Either way.
But
Yes,
whether they were letting anyone see that or not, ask of 1,000 faces. Yes, sorry, enough out of
anyways,
character.
but yes, thank you very much for your report on the goings on. It's helpful to see other people's point of view of how things are progressing, how people are acting, who's where, that type of thing.
Of course, though I'm certain you could get hold of the information by yourself. But it never hurts to have a few more points of view on the same situation.
Exactly. And, well, finally, before you go, so what's your opinions on all the delightful goings on in Manhattan?
Well, things do seem to be improving compared to when I first arrived.
Takes time.
It does. And I have been learning more of the city and its inhabitants gradually.
Haven't had a run-in with the other groups of interest then yet?
Hmm. Enough to know to avoid them.
Occasionally a wise choice.
I have quite enough to occupy my time with regards to our kind.
Yes, I know the feeling. Anyways, if unless you have anything to bring up, I'm afraid I have to cut the meeting short. I've got quite a few things that are taking up my time recently, and I can't let them delay.
I quite understand. Of course, once you find someone to delegate to, that should reduce slightly, but in your own time, of course. It is your right as Prince.
Well, my pleasure as always, Miss Sheridan.
Thank you for taking the time to see me. As I said, if there is anything you need help with, please don't hesitate to let me know.
I shall keep that in mind.
And then she will bow again and excuse herself and go and have a bit of a party in the club before going home.
Excellent. And with that, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We shall call it there a scene.